keep going to get this power. I knew that it was given to me by grace and to know my purpose. You get pushed through this pain to get to this power that tends to give a divine scar, but the power gives you reinforcement. Pushing past the pain to let your voice be heard. Pushing past your fears to let your voice be heard. How much faith do you know to overcome your fears? You have blessing to someone to hear. There's a message in your words. There's a power in your voice. Keep pushing through your pain to keep that power. I keep my faith over fear to have the power in my voice to be heard. You have the power. You are resilient and you have the strength. Your voice is powerful and you need to know that you're powerful. Hold on to that power. Hold on to that power. Hold on to that power, which is the power in your voice. Use it to stand by grace. Use it to know your worth. And use it to be ready to show your knowledge. The power in your voice. A platform to redefine, which is inspiring, which is impeccable to give you knowledge, and which is the place for you to grow, to be walking in your purpose, being very amazing. The power in your voice. Hold on to that.
Welcome, 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 and thank you for tuning in to The Power in Your Voice. This is your host, Sheena Gadon, better known as the lady behind the mask. Today, we are here to educate, motivate, and inspire. Today, we have Miss Susan in the building. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much. This is the highlight of my day, being here with you.
It's always a pleasure. So, can you tell the people where you're tuning in from and what you do?
Absolutely. So I am currently residing on the beach in Daytona, Ormond area in Florida. Love the view, love the ocean. It's a different frequency being here than any other place on earth. And what I do is I'm an energetic empowerment expert, and I work with people pulling out the unconsciousness from their subconscious, which actually creates a different reality for them instantly. And that's my joy.
Mm. Listen, that is some great joy because you always got to bring that positive and that awesome and amazing energy. And you high off of energy. So to listen, for you to deal with energy, I understand all of that.
Yeah, and it's so fun because I get to work with people in their like darkest hour, like every
Right.
day for 8 to 10 hours a day. And to be this high is very interesting.
So can you tell the people what made you get into, dealing with people energy and coaching them through their darkest hour?
Yeah, so I was sort of given this by God before I got here. And I had just had this revelation, I would say within the past 5, 8 years, because I work with the angels. So my angelic team tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, you should do the math on your birth. So my mom's water broke on August 22nd, and I wasn't born till September 8th. So Shayna, my whole life, it's been this running joke of like, oh, if anyone's going to be late, it's going to be Susan. She was late to her birth. Ha, ha, ha. And it wasn't until my angelic team said, do the math. So I got the calculator out and I'm going through the calendar. I mean, I got my phone out, was going through the calendar, and that's 18 days. So I thought 18 days, oh my God, like what was I doing for 18 days? Like there. So I was talking with my parents, they're still with me. And I said, did you guys realize I was 18 days? And my dad was like, of course not. Like, duh. And I'm like, no, really? I'm like, did you not like count that? Were you not wondering how long, like why the baby hadn't arrived yet? Like what you guys were doing like 24 hours a day for 18 days? They're like,
Right.
no, I just took your mom to the doctor, and now the
Oh,
doctor,
wow.
take her on the back roads and we'll get that baby out. So the bumpier the back roads, the better. And 18 days later, I arrived. So it was not that great of a suggestion from the pediatrician or the doctor that was going to serve me up. But what was interesting was the question I asked next was, so what was I doing? Where was I? And it was like this dream screen, like dropped down, and like all the time stopped and the particles froze. And I was up with God, and he and I were going back and forth about coming to Earth in this lifetime to live it, to be here. And I was like, look, I know the rules up here. We get to choose, and I'm tapping out. And he was like, Susan, it has to be you. And I'm like, why me? There's got to be somebody else more qualified. So he opened his arms like this, Shayna. And I looked in, there was all these twinkling lights, and I was like, oh, what's that? He's like, those are all the souls waiting for you to get to Earth, to help them on their soul's evolution, which is why we incarnate and have a human experience here. So I thought, all right. And the race is off. And so I took my first birth breath. And so I've been on this path of healing with myself and with others since before I got here. It was already preordained, per se.
Amazing, amazing. So, what do you feel you had to feel was your biggest challenge through your journey so far?
Yeah, my biggest challenge was to learn that I was creating my reality, that it wasn't happening to me. Because so often we're taught that, what happened to you and what did you say next and what happened after that? And then how did you feel? And so how did that make you feel, when that person said that or did that? So my whole life, I was like, feeling that everything was happening to me and all this terrible stuff was happening. And how could I have all this terrible stuff? And like, this isn't what I came here to do. This wasn't what I came here to receive and be, but yet it was. So I had all of these, it feels like a gauntlet, Shayna, that I had to like run through since I was born, and I'm jumping over barrels and sliding through mud and like dodging, bullets. And that's what it felt like. And then it wasn't until I actually was in a place of receiving that I could actually step into who I was truly here and meant to do and be.
Was it hard to start walking into that purpose and receiving what your purpose is?
Yeah, it was 8 months after my son was born. I lost the vision in my right eye and then was diagnosed with a chronic autoimmune disease, multiple sclerosis. And at that point, back then, this was 22 years ago, you were told not to have more kids, and it was something that is progressive and it's going to continue and you're not going to actually get better from it. And whatever you have now is only going to get worse, all of that kind of programming. And it was when a mentor said to me, so what if this is what you've been asking for? And I realized that I was in a abusive marriage, and my closest family was 10 states away. So I really needed to get focused in on what was going on, what was happening, what was the next step, what was in the highest and best. And in doing that, I asked, my mentor said to me, so what's right about this you're not getting? And with that came the awareness that I chose to take on something that my husband at the time could not handle. Like, he did not do doctors. He did not do dentists. He never even took an aspirin. Like, so to have a chronic illness that you would have to be, in multiple different specialty
Right.
offices, the rest of your life kind of thing, just blew him out of the water. And so he was, so terrible and so great at the same time. Like, he just walked before my son turned 2. And what was right about it was I then truly could parent the way I had always wanted to parent, as a conscious parent. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if he was there with me. So that was the gift that he gave to me. And I'm incredibly grateful for him. And he knows, how that hit hard, but was a good move at the same time.
So tell me, you have the autoimmune disease, you're walking in your purpose. For someone that is still trying to figure out how to take these purpose walks, I call it, and a lot of times we run from it. What advice would you give them to walk victoriously in their purpose?
Yeah. So what I've discovered is that the polarity that we're in this reality, so everywhere we designate things as good and bad and right and wrong, if you can step out of polarity and step into neutrality, so having no point of view, no judgment, no decision, just being in the question in neutrality, that will be the greatest gift that you can give, because then you can receive everything without judgment. And when you can receive everything, then you have choice. You can choose accordingly. And that would be my advice.
Absolutely. So as you took this journey, you became the energizer, you became the great mom. So what is next?
Yeah, that is a great question. So it was interesting as I came into the beginning of this year, the angelic realm like downloaded some masculine energy like to me, and I was like, ooh, like what's that? I'm like, and I'm going to use that how? And they said because this year, and so 2024 is an 8 year. When you add up the numbers of the year, and an 8 year represents money, wealth, and abundance. And I was born on September 8th. In 1968, and I graduated high school in 1986, another 8, and my son was born in August, and that's an 8. So 8s have been an integral part of this lifetime, from the get-go. And so that was one of the like profound things that sort of showed up, that they asked me to kind of set up something that Earth requires at this time, and it's conscious education. So I used to be a first grade school teacher, and then I was a substitute teacher for the next 25 years, all the way up to COVID started. And then I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm out, school's out, time out. And so I took a look at that, and it was like, my son was studying Romeo and Juliet. I studied Romeo and Juliet. He was reading The Grapes of Wrath. I had read The Grapes of Wrath. I'm like, there has to be more literature that has come up through the ages since then. And when I took a look at that, education is really one of the ones that I was really identified as not having evolved like a lot of other areas. So like our transportation has evolved. Back then we were driving cars that were standard, and in the 60s, and we didn't have power windows. We were rolling down I drove to Florida in a car where I had to roll the windows down. I didn't have any AC because I was from Massachusetts, and I get to Florida, I'm like, whoa, this is like temperature shock for me. And so it was like I have this like sort of awareness that our education system, our medical has evolved, our transportation has evolved, like so many other areas, how we receive information, our communication has evolved, that the education system has not evolved. And I believe that I've been shown that there is an element of awareness. So there's collective conscious awareness that's here now, that's ready and willing and able to receive a different way of learning. There's a different way of educating. There's a different way that's been missing from our educational curriculum and how we've been doing school ever since. So I'm creating the Limitless Life Institute. And so I'm going to get it created. It's going to be for humanity. It will be something that will supplement, regular education until it supersedes that and then moves forward, and it'll be something I leave for humanity. Like it's not something I'll run, but it's something I'll create for.
Okay. Yeah. And what entails in there as far as how would they learn? Like how are you teaching? Like give me a little bit more information about that.
Yeah.
It sounds very interesting.
So it was through, parenting that I realized that, I didn't know, the best way for my child to learn, even though I thought I knew the best way. And so allowing him to choose, like Shayna, he's got like 5 computer screens in front of him. He's got a game he's playing with a friend. He's got his Discord, which is Facebook for, adults our age.
Right.
He's messaging people with. He does this side-by-side thing, which is new. I don't even know if it's out there, but he and his friends will get on a call and then both mute. And energetically, they're there with each other. However, they're doing their own thing. And so I've been looking into that as like, what is that the kids have that we haven't been willing to acknowledge yet? Right. So I'm bringing in like telepathic communication is so much faster, quicker, and easier than, speaking, and our words are a limitation. And we've been taught things that have been true, which aren't actually true, that if we could unprogram ourselves from it would actually elevate our awareness. And there's going to be a lot of surprise things because so many things we're able to do differently now that we didn't have the awareness of before. Like when you and I would talk to our parents, they go, well, that's the way we've done it.
Right.
That's the way we've always done it. We're going to do it that way because it worked. Well, our kids are showing up going, no.
Right.
They're unapologetically firm about, no, it doesn't work for me.
That don't work. We need to do something different, or that because it worked for you then, it don't work for me now.
Yes. Yes, right? And they're so bold about it too. And so there's
Very.
all this judgment from everybody going, oh, those kids, they don't want to work, 8 hours a day,
Hmm.
5 days a
Right.
week, 40, and show up at 9 in the morning. No, because that's not actually in the highest and best. That's old school, old framework, old paradigms. So they're bringing in this new one, and along with it is coming a new way to educate. So where there's a whole done differently uh, segment that's going to be a part of the program that's going to actually bring people in to go, oh, we can do grieving differently. We can do
Mhm.
divorce differently. We can do
Right.
dating differently. There's a whole different way of doing things, showing up, actually being in the world that wasn't available before. Now, when our kids are here.
And that's spectacular. Like, at this age and time, with the AI and everything coming. So it's always good to have something different and something, new that is going to change the world for the future. So I commend you on your new adventure and the new things that you're bringing out and the new things that you're doing. I, you're just going, you're soaring, you're excelling, and you're opening people's minds to like a whole nother level of education, thought process, and definitely energy. So, like when you work with your clients, what are some of the things that you do with them as far as like with the energy and finding them out and taking them on this whole different direction?
Yeah, so it's a journey. And I've been sort of guided to explain it this way. So the
Right.
cream rises to the top. So there's going to be the things that are ready to be removed like right away. So whatever that happens to be, we just take the bulldozer and we just like get rid of that. Because when people show up in my reality, their cup is already so full that if I start to put anything into it, we're just going to make a mess on the table. It's not about that. It's about taking the cup and dumping it out. So that way they have more room in the cup to receive more things in that they'd like to have in their life. So that's what we do. We take some time in the beginning to eliminate the stuff. It's the old stuff that, it's the programming, it's the systems, it's the loops, it's the limitations, it's the separation that they've created, it's the distancing from their body, it's the non-connect with, it's the communication that's been like disjarred. I would say that we put all back together for them. And then with that, they're able to receive more. It's like the old defragmenting program. Do you remember when we would go to bed at night when we were younger and we would hit defrag,
Mm-hmm.
Shayna, and like our computer would go through and it would take out all
Yeah,
the,
all the stuff that you're not using, or the what is like the cookies or the caches or whatever, and just releasing all the things that are not useful.
yep. And then when you wake up in the morning, all of your information is put back together and you have more space. So you have more
Hmm.
bandwidth. So that's what I do. So their angelic team and I get together and we pull out, just like the defragmentation did, all the cookies and all those things that are in there that no longer serve them. And in that space, we're showing up with, um, you know, uh, more, the ability, their bandwidth is much larger. So they have a greater space to actually pull in that which they'd like to have in their life. And it's so interesting when that happens because it's this big aha moment for so many people, that shifts and changes things drastically, dramatically, instantly, and permanently, which is what I love.
Absolutely. And that's amazing because, this day and time, a lot of people hold on to a lot of baggage and things that they don't need to. And, they're still walking around with all this stuff that's just unsettling.
Yes.
So it's a perfect way to help them recreate and rebirth themselves.
Yes.
And they need all of that. And some people don't be knowing that they need it, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm fine." Be walking around with a whole mass of things and still be like, "I'm fine." No, you're not. Need to
Yeah.
have a come to Jesus moment.
It's like one of the lies. Like even I tell myself sometimes, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. But I've got three girls and we connect in with each other. And I'm like, yeah, would you go look at that for me? Because we'll
Right.
hide things from ourselves. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you and I, we could probably win Oscar, nominations for our performance of lying to ourselves. But, they'll call us out on it. And then,
Right.
we're here to like expand. So we're ready to zip it up
Absolutely.
and send it away.
Absolutely. So do you have any events coming up soon that you're doing?
I do. At the end of this month, I'll be, I support a nonprofit called LightNet through their Starseed Academy, and I'll be teaching communication with animals this month. So every month they have a different topic. Last month we did something about meeting your galactics, and the month before that was about our children being the ascended masters. I'm coming back. So each month has a different topic. So I'll be showing you how to communicate with animals, the way animals receive information, you know, why they're here, how they get connected to you. And then any Q&A is totally welcome. So
now,
it's
when
gonna
is that happening, and how would they be able to watch it?
So you would go to starseedacademy.org/Susan, all in lowercase, SUSAN. That will bring you to the page where the event is housed, and then you can choose to get your ticket there. It's $22. We do that, so 22 is a major number. 11, 22, and 33 are archonic numbers, and they bring in a frequency all their own.
That's
So
crazy you say that, because my birthday is 11/23/1980. And you and my daughter has the same birthday, because your birthday is September 8th. That's also my daughter's birthday.
No,
Yes.
we're just discovering that right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when you said it, I said, that's my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, we're both Virgos.
Yes, you are.
Wow. We get things done, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I
So,
love
yes.
it. More
Yep.
connection with the two of us.
Absolutely. So, can you tell the people any last words, and also tell them how to connect with you, how to work with you, and how to find you?
Sure, I would love to do that. And I want to first thank you for having me, you know, on your show. This has been just an incredible gift and contribution, you know, to me, and I'm so honored to have been selected by you to contribute to your audience. That I would love to be in service, and that's truly why I'm here. So I offer like a 30-minute no cost consultation, and you can find that booking link. It's like book something with me. And it's right on my website, susanshatzer.com. And that's the fastest, quickest, easiest way to get to me. I'm on all the social media platforms and whatnot, but you know, to get right to me, I would book a 30-minute consultation, and let's like take a look at like what is the biggest problem, challenge, issues that you're having, and how we might be able to support you in kind of like eliminating that and having the life you've always truly wanted to live.
Absolutely. Any last words?
My last words would be that you are amazing. Being on Earth right now is not one of the most fun, happy places to be. You know, there's a lot of stuff happening environmental wise, political wise. So just being here is truly a thumbs up, and hallelujah, you know, to being here, because you're here and there's a reason and there's a purpose, and you definitely are divinely guided. So that would be my gift to you. Know that you are on the right path. You are headed in the direction you're supposed to be in.
Amazing, amazing, Susan. It is always a pleasure having you here. Our doors are always open. Anything new you have coming, you know, we always here to share and share with the world. As always, guys, you know, here at the Power in Your Voice, we thank you for tuning in. This has been your host, Sheena Gadine, better known as the Lady Behind the Mask. You can find me on Facebook as Sheena Gadine. You can find me on Instagram at Lady Behind the Mask 22. You can find me on my website at www.sheenamastermotivation.com. And as always, we are here to educate, motivate, and inspire. And we will catch you guys next time.
New book coming soon.